Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. On this channel, we review fantasy of all sorts, from books to movies to video games, and apply the characters and objects within to the tabletop game Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition. Today, we're going to be looking at a Disney character, a Disney princess, specifically Cinderella from the self-titled movie. Cinderella is a very classic Disney princess, but how does she stack up if you put her in a game of Dungeons and Dragons? Keep something in mind. All characters from movies do not fit neatly into the Dungeons and Dragons world, so some artistic liberties need to be taken. And just because a character doesn't show skills explicitly in a movie, they may show them in D&D just to make them a usable character in the first place. So Cinderella. Cinderella, I assume, to be about 18 years old, given the context of the movies. She's about 5'2", weighs about 100 pounds. She has white skin, blonde hair, and blue eyes. Cinderella, now, thinking about her class, she spends most of the movie cleaning and going to a ball. But she is shown to have an entire swarm of mice to be her friends, and so I decided to make her a Swarm Keeper Ranger. I figured that this was the best way to demonstrate her connection to her mice friends. As far as background goes, I know that she was born into a rich family, but considering the fact that she has been her stepmother's servant for who knows how long, I gave her the background of urchin. I felt like that was appropriate. She is a human, because there's no reason not to make her one, and I made her alignment true neutral. This might seem a little strange, but most of Cinderella's actions, while not explicitly evil, are not explicitly good either. She just kind of wants to fall in love, and that's not good or bad, it's just a normal human emotion. So I figured neutral was the appropriate thing for her. Now, as far as her stats go, she does do a lot of physical labor, so I gave her strength slightly above average at 12. Her dexterity is a 10. She's pretty standard as far as her speed goes. Constitution, again, I gave her a slightly higher one considering the fact that she does physical labor a lot, so I gave her a 12. Her intelligence, she's not shown to be particularly well educated, so I gave her a standard 10. Her wisdom is 12. She does have some idea of what's going on around her and some ability to plan, but it's not super significant. And her charisma is a 14. She's a pretty girl and has the ability to charm people somewhat, but not a whole lot. Now, as far as her items, I didn't give her any weapons because she isn't ever shown to use any. I did say that the dress that she wears, because it's magical in nature, it was made by her fairy godmother after all, I gave it the stats as a +1 padded cloth armor. Think about that cloth armor that they have in the light armor section of the player's handbook, and just make it a little magical. This gives her an AC of 12. She also has the glass slipper, but I made that a magic item that we'll discuss a little bit later. Her speed is 30. Her hit points are 21, standard for her level. She has the features and traits of the Ranger, the Deft Explorer feature, from the updated Ranger in Tasha's Cauldron, and the Favored Foe power. And as far as her fighting style goes, I made her a druidic warrior. I didn't think that she would be particularly useful with weapons, so instead I gave her a little more magic that's druid-focused. And then, because she's a level 3 Swarmkeeper Ranger, she has her gathered swarm, who are the mice. That's going to be a key factor in having her in your game, is making sure she has her mice with her. As far as her skills go, she has her strength and dexterity as her proficient saving throws as a Swarmkeeper Ranger. And she has 5 skills. Animal handling, because mice. Insight, because she is pretty good at detecting the motivations of people. Perception, performance, and persuasion. All things that she's shown to do in some capacity, at least when she's dealing with the people at the palace. Languages, I gave her the Common Speak, the Sylvan Speak, because she speaks to her fairy godmother, i.e. fairies, and I also gave her a language that I just called Beast Tongue, because she can speak to animals and understand them. So why not? I made her proficient in light and medium armor because ranger. Simple weapons, not martial ones. She's not trained in combat. And as far as her tools go, tool proficiencies, I made her proficient in cook's tools, leatherworker tools, and weaver tools. Because she does so much housework and works with clothes a lot, she's proficient in all of those, but she doesn't carry them on her, per se. Now, as a ranger, she does have a little bit of magic, and I gave her a couple cantrips, and I gave her 5 level 1 spells. Her cantrips are Mage Hand, Mending, and Druidcraft. These are all mostly based on the fact that she has her Druidic warrior power. And then her level 1 spells, I gave her Speak with Animals, Animal Friendship, Cure Wounds, Good Berry, and Fairy Fire. All standard ranger spells that don't do damage, but certainly can enhance her a little bit in combat and have her as a support character. Now finally, her magic item, the Glass Slipper. Given to her by her fairy godmother, the Glass Slipper does have a very nice magic effect that I gave it for the D&D purposes. When worn, the Glass Slipper allows the wearer to cast Disguise Self at will, basically making it so you can wear anything you want. And it also, when worn, grants advantage on any charisma check. Any ability check that involves charisma, you will get advantage on. This was literally shown when she walked into the ball and immediately caught the eye of the prince and pretty much everyone else. Disguise Self plus advantage in charisma checks means you will be the belle of the ball, pun intended. So, Cinderella as a character, how would you involve her in your party? I don't know, she's only level 3, so she's not for high-level games. I suppose as an early ally, you could see her being a Stormkeeper Ranger in an urban setting, having her mice infiltrate places, maybe even having her as the face of the party as an NPC if you don't have anybody to do that. But her stats don't really show off anything for combat or exploration, so she has a very niche use. But if you can find a spot for her, throw her in a game and see what happens. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review, talking about the Disney Princess Cinderella. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe down below. And if you want to see more Disney characters in D&D, I'm going to have some more coming down the pipeline pretty soon. Have a good one, my friends.